guys, and welcome back to another show on the Buffalo and Peter CTO video. Hope you've all been well. And today we are going to be doing I'm doing a video on the Players Cup. So I'm going to be entering one of them using one of my keys and potentially show my viewers what sort of decks they are to expect when playing in the Players Cup 4, because I know a lot of people sort of try to conserve most of their keys until the very end when everyone's weeded themselves out and such. And yeah, conserving keys is sort of like a definite, it's a good strategy for certain if you want to be sort of like put yourself in a mindset where you've set yourself a day aside to actually, you know, you've had some practice and you're just going to put in all your effort into one day. It keeps you on track, it keeps you motivated and things like that. So it's a good idea. The deck that we're going to be entering this Players Cup tournament with is Spiritomb. Now, Spiritomb is no longer a new deck by any means, and because of Spiritomb being around and being shown how dominant it can be, which when it runs on hot, it certainly runs on hot, and honestly it's near unbeatable when it runs on hot. When it runs on fumes, like any deck really, it's hard to make any sort of comeback, but because it's sort of like a one-trick pony, and you do just need to have the correct sequencing with your items and your switching cards and your actual retreat from your free retreat that you want to get once with highs and energy and things like that. So I'm not going to go like massively into the deck. Everyone knows what it is now, everyone knows what it does, everyone's playing Tool Scrapper because of this deck now. This is basically the deck that this is the only deck realistically that people play Tool Scrapper for. Obviously Urshifu does tend to play things like air balloons and karate belts, so it is good against that, but this is the deck that made people start reconsidering Tool Scrapper again. So a lot of people have sort of opting for a single copy of Ordinary Rod, which, to be fair, you know, for consistency, a single copy should be enough, but at the same time, when you prize Ordinary Rod and potentially even Spiritomb with it, then you're just not going to have a good day, because despite the fact that you play 8 ball search cards, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find them, as well as the Spiritombs, especially if they're in the prizes. So your main weapon in this deck is Caper Toughness, which gives your Spiritomb an extra 50 HP, which is potentially a extra 160 damage output on top of what it already had, because without KOing itself, you could only ever have 5 damage counters on this to begin with, and therefore you could only ever hit 160. I say only, that's enough to KO it today, but with the extra 50 HP, it does mean that you can hit for a whopping 310, which does mean that you can actually OKO Victini VMAX. You just won't be OKOing any other VMAX, and you definitely should take that into consideration when moving your damage counts around with the Jinx that's in this deck. This has Ominous Posture, where you once per turn can move a damage counter from one of your Pokemon to one of your other Pokemon. That's basically the simplicity of how the deck works. I've talked enough about the plan for the video and the deck list, so I'll be right back for our first round of the Players Cup tournament. So, as well, with this video series of featuring the Players Cup, whether I win or lose the first round, I will be recording it anyway, because I want to play 3 games for definite. So even if I do lose the first game, I'll just be going straight back into another tournament, because it's more to show people the meta and the sort of decks they are to expect in the tournament. That's the whole point of it. And we are going to turn, that's right down. Oops, audio, there we go. Because that's annoying. And we're against some sort of Apple deck, which the placement of damage counters is particularly annoying. But that being said, their main attacker is a 2 prize card attacker, and that's what this deck does really excel against in a sense. Or it's just some sort of grass toolbox decks. This isn't what I'd consider the usual meta for Players Cup, if I'm honest, but we'll see how this goes anyway. It could be a potential, you know, actual stage 1 Rillaboom, stage 2 Rillaboom deck, sorry, where they use Voltage Beat to accelerate grass energy out the deck and such. I am going to have to keep a very close eye on the amount of damage that this thing can do. Okay, so not a very heavy start by any means for my opponent, which is very good for us, of course. Very bad for us that we're about to lose 2 bosses orders, but in the same breath, we don't necessarily have to lose 2 bosses orders. So we can attempt to crowbat first. You do just want to sort of like straight shoot out the posts with this deck, because getting the spike myth would have been ideal, but apparently no such luck. Spike myth here, and I'm actually not going to discard this hand at all because the hidden energies are far too important to be losing in this deck. I'm not in any threat of a KO at all, so I may as well swing for 40. Like, you just may as well, why not? I'm going to keep the spike from hand, only because the Orbital has made me somewhat wary now that it is on the field, and due to the fact that it is on the field, I'm obviously going to be a little bit more cautious in how much I do tend to retreat. I don't want to be retreating anything except the Spiritomb in this case. And does this put them onto the bench or does it put them onto your hand? It does put them onto the bench, so that's okay, I suppose. I mean, obviously, I'm not against the most meta of decks by any means. And it's just a fully... I don't know why I didn't use Forest Friends there. That to me is unusual. And this is where I will capitalize and attempt to take the knockout on this thing. My opponent doesn't have a great hand, so I don't see much use in using a Marnie at the moment. And honestly, I'd rather just get some damage in play. Unfortunately, I can't get too much into play, so I do want to bring that back up. I don't want to be wasting boss swords on things like this, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And we don't mind losing the old damage counters here and there in this match because obviously he's going to be at some point putting them back all over my board with the Orbital. So, and Orbital is also one of those Pokemon that does have 310 HP, so it is also equally easy to knock out. I don't know what's going on with this deck. It's got all sorts of random jazz in it. I mean, you wouldn't attach there. Don't take this first game basically as meta because there was no real points at any of what just happened, really. I can, for the sake of getting an attachment into play, attach there. And next turn we can fly out with the escape rope and potential scoop up nets and things, so my opponent will get some damage counters into play, sure. Not a whole ton. But the fact that he's actually boosting this up in damage is actually somewhat somewhat good for me. So we can go here, take 20, Stellar Wish, get scoop up net. There's nothing I don't really need to go over the top of this video. obviously, with this particular game, obviously. So, because I'm planning on scooping up the Jirachi anyway, I will just scoop it out of play. I'm not even going to put the Jirachi back down just yet. I'm just going to take the knockout here. And that's the maximum hit that Spiritomb can do, and that's why I'm featuring it in this video, because 310 is huge for a one prize card attacker. It's just, you know, naughty for a one prize card attacker, that's all there is to it. She probably, the opponent probably wasn't expecting that. So, do get poisoned, do get knocked out. The knockout is between turns, so we don't get anything from, what's the word, from Oricario, unfortunately, but here's what it is. Doesn't really matter in this case because we are just going to go ham with a disgusting amount of Spiritombs. So we can go here, and the last maneuver I want to be doing is using a scoop up net, I think, basically. So we want to be going here, when my opponent decides. There we go. And we'll build and spite. We'll go here, swap him out for the Jinx. And then I'm going to use the Jinx to move the damage counter off Jinx onto here. We will scoop the Jinx out of play, put this back down, put him down, use Build and Spite. And you can see how the sequencing is important, very much so. And here, I'm pretty certain we do have game. Well, not just yet actually, because we don't find a Cape of Toughness, which is quite annoying. But no worries, no worries. So I think we're just going to hit this thing as hard as we possibly can, realistically, is what we plan on doing there. And is there any point getting another Spiritomb into play? I do not think so. So yeah, we'll just hit as hard as we possibly can here. Because I think next turn, to get the knockout on this, we're going to have to switch into this, scoop up net it, back out of play after using its ability, and then put it back into play using its ability again to have the 5 damage counters to potentially take the knockout on this. I don't foresee my opponent promoting anything else, but I suppose we'll see. And now I can also win with Mew as well, because the deck does play Mew. So, yeah. Can I win with Mew? Well, do you know what? We need to make sure it's in the deck first, I suppose, because that'd be a foolish mistake to to do that. And obviously, because I've only got 1 prize card left, and we know we've got free retreat with the Crobat. We have the Mew, we already have the energy in hand. We found that we have Mew in deck, and it is literally just as simple as that. And we will be back with the next round of the Players' Cup. Just realised I keep saying Players' Cup, and what I actually mean to say is Players' Cup qualifiers. All these tournaments, you know, using your 50 keys, they're all qualifiers, they're not actually the Players' Cup. It's not Players' Cup 4. And as I haven't done them in a while, I've been meaning to give some of my fellow viewers some codes. So here is the first one. That's come on camera. Okay, I'm trying to focus on also putting me active in. My camera's still doing that thing where it's just like absolutely failing to focus, but with any luck, there we go, some of the lightning came up, there we go, and you'll be able to use that. So good luck, and for those of you that do watch my videos for the codes, please drop a like on the video, first of all, but most importantly, it would be nice to hear off people what they actually managed to pull in their pack, sorry. So we're gonna jump out of strategy first. We do have more ball search cards, and we don't mind putting the spike into play now. Damage counts on Mew I don't think are going to be relevant whatsoever. At this stage I'm basically just finding something that I want to discard, and I think the discard for here, yeah, do you know what, I'm just going to get the Professor's Research. Because we don't want to go over the top, you know, try and storm way over the top basically, as we don't know what our complete line of play is going to be so far. We've only just started this turn, it's only just begun watching the madness unfold. So put the trash back down and research. And not much hope of madness anytime soon, unfortunately. So we'll just switch back into here. We do have the scoop up net. We have another scoop up net, so we can go again potentially. But I think here we do need to go for this. So we've already used our supportive for the turn, so that's not great. We're not going to be using research next turn, I know that much. So I think potentially another Spiritomb would be best here. And there wasn't a whole lot that we could really do about that. We kind of just like, it did end up that we just ended up burning out. As unfortunate as that is. We're only going to put one of our Capable Toughness into play because ADP don't play a lot of hand disruption, and of course, as far as ADP decks go, very few decks hit more than one energy, like due to the odds of how many energies they even play in the deck in the first place. And this guy just has everything, obviously, so now I'm forced to find a 9 damage counter turn, which isn't very likely at all, if I'm perfectly honest. But having a scoop up net is certainly a good start. Like additional scoop up nets, because you can constantly just loop the go around the garden thing with the Spiritomb. What we do need is a hiding energy, which is not happening. Alright, so it's not going well, like at all. And usually with ADP, if you don't get the first knockout, you're gonna lose the match. So what do I do? Is indeed the question. Let me think about this. I need to do the maths in my head. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Yeah, so 7 damage counters. We can get the first knockout. It's just going to put us in such an awkward position. And we can't get the first knockout actually because, yeah, we didn't. We basically need a quick ball and we need to find Dene. To get into this game, we need quick ball like right now, which we didn't get, but we do have the first knockout, however, so that's all I realistically wanted. Like the first knockout is very difficult to find apparently, but It's grim that we're going to be losing so many damage counters, and we didn't even manage to get the Jinx into play to get this back up to 30, which is what we needed. But... and yeah, of course he just promotes this, which is expected, and we will put this here. And the longest cry. So at least we got the first one. Now, next turn is going to be so heavy in regards to what we can and can't do. Him taking this knockout, and here comes the tool scrapper, I can guarantee you. So this is a perfect example. Oh, chaotic spell. So I was going to say it was going to be a perfect example of how the meta has shifted to playing various stupid cards like Tool Scrapper just to counter Spiritomb, but he grabbed Chaotic Spell instead, which realistically does actually work a lot better in his favour. That being said, we do play Marsh Shadow in this deck, so it's not the end of the world. And we do end up with another Spiritomb as well. So a research or a quick ball is exactly what we need, and we get a quick ball, so quick ball is good. We need the Marsh Shadows to not be prized as well, so let's find out if that's prized. And it's not. So, well done Marsh Shadow, good lad, for not being prized. Stick with it. So, we'll get rid of that Chaotic Swell. We'll stick this into play. Stick this down. Go here, go quick ball. And we need this to Danny to find us so much. Like, it's not worth using boss's orders at all here. Like, we need to take the knockout on the ADP to force him to bench something else. Is basically exactly how this needs to work. So we have a piece of said needed puzzle, which was our Jinx. We now can start doing the build inspired because, you know, it's better to do it than not forget, basically. I can't say I've got much hope for us winning this match, guys, but we will see. Stranger things have happened. So we need to move this onto here. And we need to scoop up this bad boy, get that into play, and now we need to Crowbat, because having two prizes into play now is no longer the worst thing in the world. We really need research. That is a good start, but I don't know if it gets us quite enough. Let's think about this. How many scoop up nets have we used? We've used all 4 scoop up nets, so yeah, we needed research there, to be honest, and yeah, getting rid of them early wasn't ideal, but there's not really a lot we can do about that. Thank you for the other 2 researchers. Spectacular, obviously. So we now no longer can win this match. So that will be the end of this one, and I will play some more in another Players Cup, unfortunately, in the next video. So, as you'll have seen just then, oh yeah, but also this is another first round of a Players Cup tournament. As you'll have seen just then, one of the most difficult matches for Spiritomb is ADP due to its ridiculous alter creation attack. Would you like to go first? No. Because 3 of the current decks in the meta all like to go second, so you choose to go second yourself. It just makes the most sense, and it also gives you access to your supporter for the turn, which you definitely need in this deck to fly out the gates. Like, there's not really ever you can't ever hope to just start with your start with your quick balls, start with your level balls and stuff in this deck. You have to go and find them, and to go and find them, you obviously realistically need to use a supporter or a quick ball, obviously, to get yourself into the game via Dedenne. But it's just one of those things. It doesn't always happen. It's not the end of the world. We'll see my opponent here looks like he's going to be playing single strike Urshifu, which he is. and no attachment onto it is actually very good for us because it does allow us to sort of shoot straight into this. They do play scroller scorn, obviously, and I've already basically messed up, so I was meant to grab a Jirachi there, but it's not the end of the world again. I've already messed up twice now. Can we ever get back into this game? So we'll go here, and you know what, I'm just going to dead change because I just misplayed twice by not putting this spike myth that I didn't realise that I had a demand in play. So, good start guys, good show, I know, such a pro player. I haven't recorded in a very long time for those of you that used to keep up on my channel and such. It's been one hell of a ride becoming a father, to be fair. Like, it's just been a strange and rewarding, definitely rewarding experience for sure. So this time we are going to make the right play and get the Jirachi that I wanted to get. And we shall stick this here, retreat into Jirachi, and with any luck we might even be able to find a level ball here. Or a quick ball is just as good. It does allow us just to plant a little bit larger amount of damage onto this thing, which is what I wanted. The dream would have been escape rope, but it doesn't always work that way, obviously. So we can go really all out, and I think I do fancy going a little bit further with the extension of plays, and I think I'm going to go here like this, and I am just going to go for the Jinx. No, I'm not, because the Jinx is prized. Amazing. So, one problem after another in this game, clearly. Now we have 3 to prize in play as well, which not stunning by any means, but not really a lot we can do about that. We can plant a hell of a lot of damage on this thing. I could potentially even take knockout. I'm not sure if I can take knockout actually. Can I take knockout on that thing? Yeah, I can, yeah. So, good start, somewhat. Rocky start, actually, is the correct term. Very rocky start. I need that. I'm not putting that Jirachi back into play because I need to find the Jinx off the prizes. We can find the Jinx. We can find Spirit. We can find all sorts of jars that helps, but apparently no Jinx. Well, who the hell plays Zigzagoon in that deck? That's very frustrating. And the fact that I didn't find my Jinx as well is even more frustrating. Now if he gets a single strike energy, he can take a knockout of Houndour, or Houndour, however you pronounce it. So, not good. This has been an absolute show of it with the prize and stuff like that. It's not the end of the world though, because we do have Oricorio to draw some things. And if he doesn't get a single strike energy here, then he's not attacking basically, which is all I could ask for. Has he got nothing to discard for this? Doesn't seem like he's got the absolute colossal stones. Despite the fact having a Zigzagoon in his deck and taking a knockout on my benched Spiritomb, of all things. So, we'll see. If he doesn't have the single strike energy, you may just attach it to the single strike Urshifu. You may not want to even attack with Houndoom. One thing can be said, he's an extremely slow player. One of the things that does bug me about the Players' Cup is that people do play slow. By any means, these turns of Spiritomb aren't fast, but at least I can... And he had the Rapid Strike energy, the single strike energy as well. Don't know why I didn't play that. He must have another switch in hand. That's all I can imagine. Because there's no way you do anything but switch here. Because putting that there doesn't make particularly any sense to me. And so, because we had a Pokemon knocked out last turn, I didn't even get the Dance Tribute, so... and not for anything good, however. Does this have a single energy attack? No, so we need to top deck an energy. Mew may become useful. And having 30 HP remaining on Spiritomb has no effect in this matchup because he's using single strike, not rapid strike, and therefore he doesn't have access to the move Strafe. We should hope. We don't even know if he plays these cards yet. I guess we'll find out. It could be some sort of like weird single strike, rapid strike hybrid. So he gets the knockout, which isn't great, but he only gets one prize from it. So it's not the end of the world, and it can't attack next turn either. So here's what it is. So we now need to find Spiritomb. And thank God we find one. Because I wasn't really enjoying the look of this hand up until I seen that. So we're not ever going to be researching this hand at any point. And I'm pretty certain the correct course of play here is to actually just put this into play like this and just use Psy Power on the active. Because we don't have the Spike Myth in play, so that was the only thing realistically that we could have done. I would assume that this card in his hand must be a Boss's Orders. Because he hasn't played it for a long time. He hasn't tried to stall me. Which most players in a bad position would try to do. So now we need to find the Spike Myth, and I'm pretty certain that we have all of the three of them in deck. So let's have a look at have a look for those bad boys. Thin our deck by one, get ourselves a Tomb, and then Dance Tribute. Thank you. Thank you, game. I was really starting to worry there that the game hated me. So if we switch back into it, get some damage on these Tombs of Goodness. So go here, go here, go here, go here. Sequencing. So we want to grab Switch, I'm pretty certain. But do you want to go here? Could we have taken Knockout? 280. We could. I'm not sure about that. I don't think we could. I think it would have been less. It would have been more optimal to go less greedy here. And we just want to be using switch onto here. And we need to Marnie ourselves into the boss's orders potentially. We do still have access to Oricorio as well. Do we have scoop up nets? So all the scoop up nets are gone again. To be expected, certainly. And we did not find the boss's orders that we only seem to have one of in deck. Ah, we are down both. So it's going well. Constantly just like, so it's going well, obviously. This thing has 90 HP left. So we can hit that with 3 damage counters. So we'd need Tool Scrapper here. Now it's time to find out if we're going to finally see one of those decks that plays Tool Scrapper. And again, for my viewers, we do have another code coming up. Hopefully that's visible and or scannable. Probably not because of the lighting in here. As some of you may have noticed with the background, I've changed room for where my PC is now sat up. I am sat upstairs now in our spare bedroom / office. So this is my first time recording here, so I'm gonna have a look over everything and make sure that everything is good. He does have a Scroll of Scorn, which I don't think helps him too much because, I mean, he didn't even use Dado Change for whatever reason. So, yeah, this is that was just a lost cause for my opponent there, it would seem. Just to make sure that, you know, you definitely can't lose. It's better just to be safe than sorry, realistically. Jinx, there you are, hiding away. I honestly seem to be the Spiritomb player that has Jinx prized the most, like, for sure, definitely. Anyway, we will be back for the next round of this second key of the next qualifier. So we are in for the second round of the second key of this video. So this video is going to be a lot longer than I was expecting, because I was only going to play 3 rounds, but or 3 games in total. We do start with Mulligan, which is unfortunate because that hand is disgusting. Any hand that has Hidden Energy or Spike Muffin is realistically disgusting, but we'll see. So my opponent starts Crobat, so we could either be against a Terratus, or someone's just found themselves. Well, there we go. Colossal. Here we go. Not seen this deck in a very long time. So this is a good show of that. Sometimes you can have maniac decks and things like that in the runnings, but not always. So it's not too much of an issue. I don't know whether or not I want to swap out here or even just crave out for 1. I don't think I am going to crave out for 1. I think, unfortunately, actually, do you know what? We'll crave out for 2, because there's no point, if we're going to research, we're certainly not getting rid of those 2 switch cards. So, great. what would be the best thing to do? We'll save that damage counter. Because obviously picking him up. And we're just going like, you know, trying to fire on all cylinders the way that Spiritomb does. Is the best way to try and accomplish anything with this deck, really. Doesn't look like we're going to manage too much with this particular hand. And we haven't even found Spiritomb yet anyway, so that is, what they say, awful news. I think the best thing to do here is, yeah, just grab another Spiritomb. Go on Spite. Got some Spite. And that's it for that, I think. Do I really want to put one of these Hydro Energies into play? I think we do. We'll see if they play Crushing Hammer, then punished. But if not, then, you know, potentially could be a game changer. Now this deck does like to bench out, does like to bench a lot of things, so escape ropes tend to be a lot less effective in this match, unfortunately. So we'll see how this goes. I think it's going to be literally another one key, 1 point sort of thing. I feel like potentially misclicked there. I think he meant to retreat into Colossal, but it is what it is. Stranger things have happened, so yeah. Now we get the first dig on this, which is good, and we even get the Spiritomb into play as well, which is very good. So we get this down, go Stellar Wish, and we will grab Switch. Because I think we're only going to be hitting this for 140, and I think we want to go all in on the next turn, realistically. So we're going to go Escape Rope, here, and now put this into play. We've got enough like damage counters here, there and everywhere. I'm going to be acquiring some more here as well. And then we will be retreating into this one, switching back into this one, moving this damage counter from here to here. And we could even Dade change, but I'm not sure if I want to. But at the same time, I don't see why not. We've got Jinx and Jirachi and everything into play. So we don't even know if ours done his prize actually, so this is definitely the safer option, much safer. So regardless of whether he's got an energy on top of the deck or not anyway, it does hit 30, so it does have an energy. It's not too much of an issue. And yeah, we can get knockout on this. I'm pretty certain we can anyway. So first of all, we will be going Oricorio and Dancer Tribute in. And now we've got access to find, yeah, see, we don't have to Dene. So it's a good thing I didn't do that. And actually, because we don't have a whole lot going on, actually, we're going to have to Omnis Posture to here. Retreat to here. build and spite, and hit for 50. I don't particularly want to do that. Like, the prizes being problematic again, as always. Could have easily got that knockout if it wasn't for Tadani being prized, but of course, what an absolute scrabble. As we are in yet another game, I will pop yet another code up on screen for my viewers. Focus. And of course, he top decks quick ball. Or got it off the prizes. What a lad. And has Malo and Lana as well. So the struggle is real. Thankfully though, he's only knocking out a 20 HP. 22 damage countered Spiritomb is what I meant to say. There we go, we'll get there in the end. So, what do we want to be doing here? The top deck of the Scoop Up Net is very good, gives us a lot more versatility for our future players. I don't think Mew is ever going to come into effect, but at this point I need to thin out my deck like so much. I probably should have played the Ordinary Rod and grabbed a Spiritomb, but I just want to find a supporter to be able to do things. I also want my Cape of Toughness, which seems to be eluding me to no end apparently. So we will finally find a Cape of Toughness. So we'll play the Cape of Toughness down. Go here, here, Ordinary Rod. Have a look at this card. We need 2 Spiritombs back and 1 energy, so yeah, we will do both. And Marnie. Not a lot of people play Marnie in this deck. They usually play a lot more either another Bird Keeper or another aggressive draw supporter of some sort, but as you can see, like, it does help in this deck, like, quite a lot. Now, how many Scoop Up Nets have we used? We've only used 2 so far, so we will build and spite. We do need to hit this for like as much damage as possible before another Malo and Lana play comes into effect, which is very likely. It's always very likely with these sort of silly decks where they just want to constantly stall for absolutely days. We needed the 90 damage counters there, which we couldn't have achieved unfortunately because we had to Marnie because we couldn't find the research. Again, the same as last time. And he is, for whatever reason, just going to take a knockout here. I wouldn't have done that personally, but let's see how many boss orders I'm down. We can afford to lose this one boss's orders, because we still have 1 to go. And I will be, because I'm using research as my supporter for the turn, I will be using Professor's research first, so that I don't draw into any of the important cards, because that would be very frustrating. So we do get to build and spite. How much HP is this on? It's on 40, it's on 90, so I do need the 3 damage counters. No, it's not, it's on 110, so we need 4 damage counters. How very annoying. So, grabbing Scoop Up Net here is definitely the best course of action. And we'll go here, into here. We need additional damage counters into play, so that was very close. Nearly ruined it for myself. and we will put this back into play. We will Ominous Posture, go here, onto here, and finally take a knockout. These Colossals are more effort than they're worth, honestly. And Spiritomb out of the prize is nice. Along with the scoop up net, actually, is also very good. Because one thing that I do expect to see come into play at some point is Wondrous Labyrinth. Most Colossal decks do play Wondrous Labyrinth, and that is awful. That is very bad. We'll see if he can potentially miss the attack. I don't think there's any way that he would be able to miss the attack, but this does 40, so whatever happens, I can only hit with a 60 damage counter Spiritomb anyway. So, how do I go about this? Yeah, I can only ever hit with a 60 damage counter Spiritomb here because he does 40, but my HP is 110. So in the instance that he does somehow miss the energy, this is, you know, playing to every out basically. So I go here. It's very unlikely that he's going to miss the energy, but all you can do is try, right? I mean, if I wasn't down 2 of my boss's orders, I could have potentially got rid of this, but now I can't. But there again, I've got Escape Rope, so that could be the best play actually. Force him to find an Rangbrew and an energy, because yeah, I do have the Escape Rope, so this is potentially the best way to win this game. Now I've got 2 Escape Ropes. There's no way of him ever putting another 3 prize onto the bench, I don't think. But obviously he plays Rose on Phone, probably has the energy. So, you know, I did all I could basically. I made the best play for the situation I had, and you know, unfortunately my opponent just straight up has the well, he didn't find an energy off that Rose on Phone, so there's still hope. Very little hope. But there's probably the energy going on top now, and he plays energy retrieval. No one plays energy retrieval in that deck, so like, who the hell would expect energy retrieval in Colossal? The whole point of this video was meant to be showing the general meta of the Players' Cup, but all that's happened is that I just lost against a bunch of random decks. So hopefully you can all prepare for random decks. My deck's catered for the meta, and obviously Scrubload decks like that just have you off here, there and everywhere, so spectacular energy retrieval and Colossal, you know, definitely expected that, obviously, said no one ever. So that is going to be the end of this video anyway, guys. If you enjoyed watching, please drop a like, it would be very much appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, because I will be doing more videos on the Players' Cup. And next time, with any luck, with the next recording, there will actually be some display of meta-like tournaments play, as per the idea of this of the video today. So yeah, like I say, please subscribe, please drop a like, and I will see you all for the next video. Peace out, guys.